Hello everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Think Tank. Consumption versus production. What makes an economy? What makes an economy grow? What is the key to economic prosperity? What is the foundation of an economy? Now the Keynesians would like you to believe that it's consumption. After all, people spend money, people receiving that money spend it. They in turn spend money, and that's how you get money being spread out, people continue to spend, and that's how you get economic prosperity. There's one problem though. Where's the foundation? How are they able to consume? Where did they get the money from? Where did the capital come from? The answer is it came from production. So production came first. Then came the spending and consumption. And I just can't understand why Keynesians don't understand something so simple. That it's basically the answer to the question. Keynesians think that demand needs to be stimulated. They not only think that demand side economics is what makes an economy, they think that it needs to be stimulated, such as what happened in the housing market. Ordinarily, people would not have purchased houses if they didn't have the incentive to do so. They were able to buy houses because of artificially low interest rates. They didn't have to worry about good credit and a large down payment, and they were able to get into these houses easily, without qualifications, even without income. Income wasn't being checked. So they called it subprime loans. So what happened was, how could you possibly pay for these houses? And what happened was it collapsed. Demand will be there if it's a genuine demand. People have common sense. They can demand something if they have the capital to obtain it. But if you have a third party coming in, which is government, giving them the incentives to purchase something, which they ordinarily should not be purchasing because they can't afford to do so, that's what causes problems. And it's like other things that happen. Subsidizing companies which are insolvent and later go bankrupt. It's a loss of money, especially taxpayer money. The money is diverted from taxpayer money into something which is insolvent. That money's lost, and that could have been used for even legitimate consumption. Those people could have purchased something that they needed. That would have been the free market at work. And what you have is when the free market is not at work, you have a distortion. Because ordinarily, the market is like a puzzle which all the pieces are fitting together. People are consuming, and then you have production. The producers have a feeling for how much is being produced based on the people that require and demand the things that they make. And also you have the competition that are also competing with these producers. So the market knows, based on the economy as a whole, you have your consumers, you have the producers within the competitive field, and this is also what gives consumers good prices because of competition. And what happens is, when you look at an economy from a standpoint that it's consumption-based and demand-based, then what you have is government saying that stimulus is needed because the consumer needs to be stimulated. Well, no, they don't. The demand is already there. People are creatures of demand. Demand will always be there. And the proof is essentials to life. Demand doesn't need to be stimulated for people to eat. People don't eat, they die. If people don't drink, they die. If people want to live in cities, the way we have cities today, they're going to need energy, or they won't be able to live there, because the energy provides a way for transportation from the farms to bring the food to the cities so we can benefit from it. Refrigeration, electricity. So there's always going to be demand for electricity. So you have the companies which provide electricity, companies which provide energy, companies which sell food, and these companies are always going to produce. See, the production has to be there first, then the people can demand it. So the supply precedes the demand, because these are essentials to life. The government, like I said, doesn't have to stimulate you to need trucks, to bring trucks to deliver your food. They don't have to stimulate you to open your mouth and eat something. The demand is already there. So, it's just amazing how you have these Keynesians, these goose brains, they're convinced I mean, they're convinced that it's consumption, that it's demand, which makes an economy. And they're absolutely wrong, because I just proved them wrong. I mean, why can't they just see this? It's so simple. The essentials to life are already in place. There's no need to stimulate that. People will always demand things. You see, production is the foundation, which creates the structure, which is consumption. It's not the other way around. And here's more proof. The planet Earth. Originally, the planet Earth came to be. Humans came later. So without humans, there's no demand. The supply was there. The essentials to life. Water is needed. The earth is needed to grow food. Water is needed to drink. And of course there were animals that people consume. They came prior. It was the humans that came later. So the demand came after the supply. Production. Production is there. The earth was produced. Then the humans came to demand what was produced. And that is the perspective of the think tank. I would like to know your perspective. Please leave your comments, please subscribe, and thank you for tuning in.